What's up, gamers, and welcome to the Minecon 2021 tier list. Let's get right into it. So, first thing is that we got to look at the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 a little bit more with some different seeds and all that stuff. Now, this was pretty cool. Nothing really new, but it was just cool that Mojang was able to show us a bit more of the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 without exploring it ourselves. I'm going to have to put this at A tier, just because it's not new, but it's still cool. Now, the next thing was the Xbox Game Pass for Minecraft, Bedrock, and Java Edition. Pretty basic. I'm going to put this at C tier just because, I don't know. It's just basically where you can find both things all in one. Now, next we got to look at Blockbench. Just kind of like some creator stuff, but it was showing how you can make entities super easily with Blockbench. Really cool, but I'm going to have to put this at B tier. It was cool to see some stuff. Now, something next that is really awesome is the seasonal adventures for Minecraft Dungeons. This, for me, personally, I love Minecraft Dungeons, and to see that you get to earn adventure points with your friends, and there's going to be like a tower kind of thing with like almost like an endless mode, but not really, is really cool to see. So I'm going to put this at A tier just for how cool it is. Now we're starting to get into the Wild Update stuff, which, if you didn't know, the Wild Update is going to be in 2022, and this is the Deep Dark Cities, which will come with the Deep Dark in the Wild Update, but these look really cool. So, basically, it is almost like an underground ancient city that Mojang has been developing, and this is really cool because we're going to be getting unique loot just for the Deep Dark cities, and yeah, that's really fun. And also the amount of detail that there is down here is really cool, so I'm going to put this at S tier. Now, next we get to look at the Skulk Catalyst and the Skulk Blocks. Now, these are really cool because the Skulk Catalyst basically takes the experience from dead mobs and then use that experience to grow the Skulk everywhere, which is really cool. So I'm going to put the Skulk Catalyst at A tier and the Skulk Blocks at B tier, just mainly because Skulk Blocks so far what looks like is just some nice decoration. Now, next up we have the Skulk Shrieker, which is actually really cool because looks like the Skulk sensors actually set these off, and they make a really loud noise, which then gives off this really cool dark effect. And eventually it'll actually summon the Warden, which is really cool. So this is S tier for me, but just looking at the darkness effect and how it's gonna really make your time a lot more difficult is just something really cool to look at. And then, of course, we got the Skulk sensors. Not much really new here. Even though if you do sneak over them, they still set off. I don't know if that's a new feature. I'm pretty sure it is not. But still, it is cool to see some new stuff. So I'm going to have to put this at A tier. Or, nah, B tier. And then we get to look at the Warden again, which is honestly quite cool. So for me, this is going to have to go up in the A tier. But as you can see, the Skulk Shriekers are going off because we're making noise. And this new darkness effect and all that stuff is really cool. And then it looks like if you break the Skulk Shriekers, it lets out a lot of noise and a lot of vibrations, so that basically it'll pick up everything. If you didn't catch that right there, the Warden actually summons out of the ground, which is really cool as the Mojang team has described it. If we look in very slow motion here, they wanted to make it feel like almost that the Warden is everywhere but nowhere at once. They didn't say that exactly, but that's basically what they're showing and showcasing right there. It's really cool seeing that almost like scare effect, knowing that the Warden is everywhere. And now we get to look at some nice concept art that they have presented us. First we have the Birch Forest, which looks really nice. This is going to be part of the Wild Update, revamping the Birch Forest. Looks like, I hope that there's going to be mushrooms there, some new flowers, really tall birch trees, and just everything. I'm going to put probably all this concept art at B tier, mainly because it's not set in stone, but if all these things do come true, this would definitely be, in my opinion, an A tier or even an S tier because of all the new stuff for Birch Forests. And then we get to look at some more concept art of, it looks like the Mangrove Swamp, the Birch Forest, and the Deep Dark Cities all together. Really cool. Not much else new here except for the Mangrove Swamps, which we'll get in a second here. But yeah, pretty cool, and B tier again, because concept art It's not set in stone, but if it does look like that, it'd look really cool. Then, if we move on here, we get to look at some new ones of the new swamps. Looks like they kind of went very opposite with the birch forest, where it's kind of like dark, foggy, with like low light. It looks really nice, and honestly, I think it's quite a cool addition if it looks like this. Like I said, it's concept art, so we don't know for sure, but it does look really nice as it is. Now, since we are getting the swamps basically from the biome vote not too long ago, we get to see that we get boats with chests again, where basically you row with a boat and a chest to store stuff. Pretty self-explanatory. So next, we got to look at the new mangrove trees, which actually grow from propagules. Now, these grow on the trees themselves. I'm going to put these trees at S tier, mainly because of the really cool features that it has. The propagules grow from the leaves and actually, looks like, from what we know of so far, replant themselves. And just the overall look of the tree looks really nice. And here we have some concept art. Looks really nice. It would be really cool if it looks like that. Also, with the mangrove trees, we get our own wood type. So, of course, that always looks really nice. So, new wood types always accepted in my books, which automatically make it an S tier. And this concept art will be B tier. And then we got to look at mud, which is really cool because it can be renewed through water bottles, with water bottles on dirt, and these will be around the mangrove swamps. And then these are really cool because then you could put it over dripstone blocks and turn it into clay. So for me, this is gonna have to be, I don't know. I still have to think about it because there's some really unique features with this block, which make it really fun. But at the end of the day, it is mostly a decoration block, so I am going to put it at B. But it does have its own brick type, which I'm going to put at A, which is quite cool in my opinion. So the next thing that I do want to talk about is the frogs. And frogs are really cool because they have a lot of unique features, by the way. So frogs, for me, they're going to have to go up to S tier just immediately, just because they're really fun, and they're derpy and adorable at the same time. But they have a really unique feature where instead of babies, where they're just super small, they turn into tadpoles. So they're actually a different type of baby mob, rather than just, your old-fashioned small mob. If the tadpoles grow up in the snowy area, they turn into snowy frogs, which is basically a darker version of the normal frog, which is quite the cool feature in my opinion. And same goes if they grow up in a hot area, they turn into tropical frogs, which are the most adorable things in the world. I personally really like the tropical frogs. They're white, they're adorable, they blend in with the sand a bit, and also, in the background, if that's the animation for the frog, hold on, look at that. If that's the animation for the frogs, those things are the most adorable thing ever. So yes, they're gonna have to go up to S tier. Then we got some fireflies, which are pretty cool. Right now, we just kind of know that they are more of a, what do you call it, like ambiance kind of thing, and they're also frog food, so they're not the most interesting thing. So I think I am gonna have to put those probably around mostly B tier, because it's kind of like a decoration block if you think about it. So yeah, oh wait, don't want to delete the image. Yeah, but they're mostly ambiance, but they're still really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put those at B tier. The final thing that we actually got to look at is the Allay, the winner of the mob vote. And these are actually pretty cool mobs. They take an item and they deliver it back to you or the music block that they're assigned to. So I'm going to have to put these at A tier. They aren't my most favorite things, but they are really cool. Also, another thing is that frogs will have unique, basically powers for you, so that's something to keep in mind. Final thing I do want to talk about is some people have been making arguments that they don't go into chests, like the allays don't deliver to chests. But here's the thing: do I really want to make a long thing like this to just deliver it to there? Obviously, I'm not the best redstoner, so I don't know if exactly it's going to be like that, or have the allay pick it up for me, bring it back over, and if it drops it back onto a note block, I can have a minecart with a chest under that straight to the chest, which is super useful in my opinion. Now, I do have to say thank you for watching this tier list. It was pretty fun. It was pretty quick, I will say. Some things were rushed. If you want me to go more in depth about some things, just let me know down below, and I'll make another video about this, about everything, and do some more research. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Minecraft video. Bye, gamers!